Hey everybody, it's me Marquita, and I am, hold on, come on, will you, this freaking game, come on, let me out, thank you. I am coming on here to make this video of, hold on, I'm trying to get on my page. Okay. So, this is what I said. I will not be looking. This is one of my biggest fears. Now, let me explain. Okay, so, what year was that? In the 90s. I watched The Seventh Son by Demi Moore. And ever since then, that has been one of my biggest fears. Look at these cute babies. Look at these cute babies. Look at them. No, these two cute babies. They're the cutest babies I ever seen. Don't you think so?
Yeah.
They are the cutest babies. Can y'all guess which one that one is? I mean, I know which one is which.
For a
But
second, I thought that, wait, show me it again. I thought that, that one.
Which one?
That one was me at first when I seen this.
What, on his ears?
Yeah, I thought that was me and that was Savannah.
That is. That is. You were holding your ears because you were screaming. You were crying, and you covered your own ears.
You hurt your own ears.
Yeah, that was you. You, and that's why Savannah was just looking like, what's wrong with her? And then you were like, ah.
And then I covered my
Yeah, but Savannah was always chill. She was just like, as long as you don't touch me, I'm okay. Like, don't pick me up. I don't want to be held.
And still to this day, she's like that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah, they're facing.
Like, I think in this picture, no, because she was afraid to hold you. I was going to say Sissy, but she wouldn't hold you because she was afraid because y'all were so tiny. It might have been aunt or uncle.
I remember when Dad showed me that picture of the one that when Jay holded us.
Oh, the daddy?
No, Dad's friend. Jay. Yeah, Jay.
Yeah, what you call it?
Yeah,
He
was holding us and he was scared to drop us because he was.
Oh yeah, because y'all were like. But did you see when you was laying beside the one?
No.
Yeah, okay, so it was the one that just turned 13 in February. You know, and then y'all was laying beside her, and she was like 6 months. Yeah, or like she might have been 7 months, but she looked like she was almost like 1.5 compared to y'all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it was funny. But they always had big babies, but that's because he's really tall. So all her only baby that wasn't big is her last one. The youngest of her kids, not of the grandkids. Yeah. And he just turned 5, I think. But okay, so what I was saying is, I watched The Seventh Son when I was like younger in the 90s. And ever since then, that has been one of my biggest fears. Now, let me tell y'all, and I think I have told this story multiple times, but anyways. So, when in 2000, I remember, like, I was in state custody and I was in TBCH, which is Tennessee Baptist Children's Home. Anyways, I was in that group home because it was a level 1. And so I was there, and I remember we went out to eat one night. And I remember I looked up and it was like a harvest moon. So the moon wasn't really orange. It was like I'm going to say a tan. I can't even remember. But it was like a little bit more tanner than I was comfortable with. And I started freaking out. And I was just like, oh my gosh. If the moon turns to blood, I'm gonna kill myself. Like, if the moon turns to blood, if the water, starts, turning into blood and all that. If you've seen the seventh sign, you will understand what I mean. And so I said that to them. Now, at that time, I was 16, about to turn 17. The people that were supposed to be the adults in the house was 22 and 23. At that point, I think my sister was 22. So they were literally the same age as my sister. So, me telling them that, me being straight up scared and all that, I told them it was a guy. Okay, so one of the boys in the group home, because it was a mixed group home, one of the boys in the group home, coincidentally, I knew him when he was like, he had to be like 1. He might have been about to turn 2, and I was like 3, maybe about to turn 4. So I wasn't like that, but like I've been knowing him like all that time. Like I knew him when he was little. And so like I knew his mom and I knew his mama's boyfriend. But I didn't know he had a brother until he's like, yeah, I got a brother, but his brother didn't live with him. Anyhow, it was just a coincidence that he was in that group home and I was also in that group home. And he told me, he was like, what is it? Oh, gum?
Yeah.
We'll just put it right here. I'll eat it in the morning. And so we were standing outside catching the school bus. And, cause like we're about to go to school. And he told me, he goes, because at that time, my morning job was the girls' bathroom. Like we had morning job, evening, or morning chores, evening chores, and then weekend chores. Like my morning chores was the girls' bathroom. My evening chores was to unload and then load the dishwasher. And whatever didn't get loaded in the dishwasher, another girl washed the dishes by hand. But I had to unload the dishwasher because somebody's morning job was to rinse and load the breakfast dishes. I didn't need it home. I didn't need that whole, so from, I think September to December. Yeah, because I left and I moved to the other one on the 4th of December. So from like September to December, I didn't eat breakfast. And that was because they like I didn't eat breakfast at school because it was a guy and there was another girl that was there. Like they were in high school, but they were younger than me. And they were like, you got to tell me what she ate. Well, we didn't have the same lunch, so they didn't know what I ate at lunch. But I didn't eat breakfast because I'm like, no, because they're gonna watch what I eat. Anyhow, I've always been fat. And then it didn't make it any better that I don't like meat. I have never liked it meat. So because I didn't like meat, they kept wanting me to eat meat. And I'm like, I don't eat meat. I want like corn or like, vegetables, starches. That's my thing. Bread. And they were always like, no, corn is a starch, potatoes a starch. Okay, well, that's what I like to eat. And they're like, well, you gotta have chicken strips or chicken or fish sticks and it was just like, I don't eat that. And they're like, well, if you don't have a complete meal, you can't eat. I was like, I guess I'm not eating. And I wouldn't eat. I'll just sit there. And then when everybody got dismissed from the table, I'd get up. I would rinse the dishes, loaded it. Huh?
Wait, what are you talking about right now? Because I was just gonna say, did they have your favorite bars at that place?
No.
Oh.
Like I hated that place. But no, so I would just rinse the dishes, load the dishwasher, and I would go to my room. So like the only time that I really ate was I would have a after school snack while doing homework, which I never had homework, which they were like, that don't make no sense. You never have homework. Yeah, I never had homework. But that's because I was in resource, and in resource, they didn't give homework. So I would just sit there and I'd just be sitting at the table drawing or, doing whatever. And I would have an afternoon snack. And then when dinner came, if it was something that I would like to eat, like something that I liked it, because it wasn't like they didn't always have like food that, because I ate hot dogs and I know hot dogs is a meat. So I would eat hot dogs. I really didn't like hamburgers, but I could eat them. But it was like chicken was like a hard no. Fish was a hard no. Like meatloaf was a hard no because she didn't know how to cook. But anyway, so I say all that to say, them knowing that like one of my biggest fears is the moon and the water and all that, they were going to play a practical joke on me. They were going to put the red dye packets, like the little pills, like what you have for Easter, they was going to put that in the water. So when I cut the water on to, rinse the sink, it was going to be blood. Knowing that I told them if the moon turns to blood and, the water turns to blood, I'm going to kill myself. And I was dead ass. I was serious. And they knew that. And they still was going to play that practical joke on me. And it was like, okay, why would you do that? Knowing that was like one of my biggest fears. And yeah, ha ha ha, it would have been a joke. But like at that time in my life, I was not in the greatest headspace. So he told me, he's like, well, they're gonna play a practical joke on you for Halloween. He's like, I just wanted to tell you because I remember what you said. And I was like, yeah. And when I went to school, because I loved my guidance counselor, Miss Adcox. Oh, I love her. Rest in peace. Went to her funeral, cried like a baby. Of course I did. But as soon as I went to school and I told her, I was like, they're gonna play a practical joke. And I told her the whole story, and she called my caseworker. My caseworker said, if they do that, you will have a lawsuit and they will be in jail, because I wasn't saying it as a joke. Like, I was serious. Like, still to this day, that moon is like one of my biggest fears because of the seventh sign. And like, it's just, I have been saying, I throw Nikolai on everybody. And when I'm always saying, oh my gosh, this has happened, this is seventh sign. I believe what I say. And especially since World War III has started because of 47. And he's too senile to stop it. My opinion. Only my opinion. He is too senile to stop it. Or he's not that's not the word. He's not sane enough, and he's not. It's after 8 o'clock. I go on March the 25th to my doctor's appointment. I thought I was supposed to went November or February. No, it was 24th. I thought it was supposed to be February the 24th that I went to the neurosurgeon, but it wasn't. So I went all the way there, and it wasn't February the 24th. It's March the 24th. But my fear is I'm going back to the same office that did it. But I'm not supposed to see the same doctor. And my biggest fear is going to be, they're going to be like, yeah, you probably need to get it changed or get it taken out. And I don't want that doctor to do it. I don't want him to touch my brain. I don't want him to do any surgery on me. And I have said this in therapy multiple times, and it has been said multiple times. I feel like that if he or one of his colleagues does the brain surgery, I really feel like that they will kill me. Paranoid, yes, but like the first surgery was supposed to be 1, and it turned into 2, 12 hours apart. So it was supposed to have been just July the 1st, 2015, 8 a.m. They woke me up, told me, oh, he couldn't get it to work. This is in recovery. I have told this story multiple times. Okay. Then they were like, oh, he's going to do the surgery again at 8 p.m. They woke me up and said, okay, we're about to take you back to surgery. And I was like, okay. And I went back to sleep. I don't know why they woke me up, because I wasn't awake. I was asleep in recovery until my appointment. Until the surgery. And then, so they woke me up and said, okay, well, we're going to take you back to surgery. And I said, okay. And then I went back to sleep. And then I remember waking up as they was wheeling me out of the, what's that called? The elevator. And I remember I seen my daddy. I was like, oh, hey, daddy. And I remember like me trying to smile. But of course, I just came back from like the second surgery. And so I just thought, okay, well, my face is a little sleepy. it's not moving right. But I knew something was wrong because I knew I wasn't really smiling right. So that's why when I got awake enough, like later on that night, I took a picture and it was showing like the left side of my face was paralyzed basically. And then it was like the whole left side of my body. I told him literally as he was signing my discharge papers, he told me it's nothing that I did and said, okay, well, hopefully you feel better soon. Got up and walked out. That's what that man said. Not even a full 24 hours. Yeah, not even a full 12 hours after my second surgery. So that's what he said to me. And then, ever since then, I have had you know what? I'm just going to stop talking. My biggest fear is the moon and the water. And with World War III starting, it's like scary. It's really scary because I feel like this was a war that didn't need to start. And because 47 is not in charge, he's just the face. He is basically, if y'all remember Iron Man, when that one guy was like the face of that thing, remember when I'm saying remember like y'all can hear me. When they kidnapped Piper, that guy, and then it was like that one guy, he was on, what?
Do you know anyone named Gladys?
I don't know anybody personally named Gladys.
Because someone on my movie said, hello, my name is Gladys.
I always say Gladys. Like Oreo, I call her Oreo Odessa.
Yeah.
And then Biscuit is Biscuit Aloysius. But no, I don't know any person personally named Gladys. That's an old name. Old Gladys. But anyways, I feel like that's what 47 is. He is the face, but somebody else is the power. And they're doing things, but basically the auto pen. The same auto pen that everybody said was used in other presidency except 45 and 47. Okay, whatever. I know my feelings. And if somebody called me woke, that's the biggest compliment that anyone can call me. Because that means I'm not blind to what's going on. I'm not asleep. I'm not blindly following somebody that don't have eyeballs off the side of the cliff. Because I have eyeballs. I'm awake. I have my own thoughts in my own mind. So, little gray cells.
Yeah, your own little gray cells.
And I have my own little gray cells. And they be firing off. Sometimes they fire off and they be shooting daggers at people. But they are well intentioned. Like sometimes they go off and they cuss people out, then it's like, okay, well, I didn't have to go that strong. But I'm not sorry that I went there. I just didn't need to go there that strong.